How does power justify itself? Not through reason, but through myth. Zeus, the so-called father of gods and men, did not ascend by virtue. He wrenched dominion from Kronos in a war that was less a revolution than a transfer of tyranny. And once victorious, he did not establish justice, he enforced obedience. The question is not whether Zeus was cruel, but why his cruelty was sanctified. What does that tell us about the nature of authority itself? Consider the Titan Nomaki. The Olympians did not defeat the Titans because they were morally superior. They won because they were stronger. And Zeus, once crowned, repeated the very atrocities he rebelled against. He imprisoned his enemies in Tartarus just as Kronos had devoured his children. Is this the inevitable cycle of power? That it merely reshapes itself, never truly reforms? Zeus's reign was not maintained through consent but through terror. The thunderbolt was not just a weapon, it was a symbol, a reminder that defiance meant an annihilation. But terror alone does not sustain a regime. It requires myth, the myth of inevitability, the myth of divine right. When Zeus swallowed Metis, the goddess of cunning wisdom, it was not just an act of domination, it was the internalization of control. He did not just rule, he became the source of reason itself. How many rulers have convinced us that their authority is not just power but natural law? And what of the governed? The Greeks did not overthrow Zeus. They ritualized him. They turned his caprices into liturgy, sacrificing bulls, building temples, composing hymns to the very one who toyed with their fates. Why? Because the alternative was chaos. Or worse, the realization that order, as they knew it, was arbitrary. Is this not the Faustian bargain of civilization? That we exchange autonomy for the illusion of stability? Prometheus dared to ask, what if fire, knowledge, agency belonged to mortals? For this he was tortured. Not because Zeus needed to punish, but because he needed to perform punishment, to make dissent unthinkable. How different is this from the silencing of philosophers, the exile of dissidents, the algorithmic suppression of ideas today? Yet here is the paradox. Zeus, for all his might, was perpetually insecure. He feared prophecies, revolts, rivals. Absolute power did not make him free. It made him paranoid. Is this not the fate of all autocrats? To rule over a kingdom of mirrors, seeing threats in every reflection? The temples are rubble now, the thunderbolts dust, but the principle remains. Not because Zeus was a god, but because we still bow to the idea that power must be centralized, unquestioned divine. The real myth is not Zeus, it is our belief that there must always be a Zeus,